the studio. Carpool podcast.
I saw your video for it.
Yeah.
Not in a Suzuki Swift.
Oh, no.
I watched that clip this morning as well. Gas.
No, it's not in the Suzuki Swift. We had a few problems with that, but we won't go into that.
Are you in vehicles? Do you have a car?
Yeah. I have a Suzuki Swift.
Oh, dear. Yeah. What was
Yeah.
it? Was it passed down to you from your granny?
No.
Oh, God. Oh, wait, you bought it?
Yeah. Listen, just leave it. Just forget about it. Like, we don't need to go into it.
Going into the shop being like, actually, sounds weird. You don't be Suzuki Swift. It's a BMW garage.
A BMW garage. And you're in Liverpool, mate. How are you going to get that back over the country? Is that not Liverpool?
This is going to be the most loud.
This is the intro, is it? There we go. No, there won't be any fucking big intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pear Pod. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the support in the last episode. Today, I'm joined by both pairs of the You Havin Us On podcast, Connor and Glenn. Connor and Glenn, thank you for joining us.
Very good, sure. Thanks very much.
There we go. Now, I've been hearing from some of the audience, maybe it gets a little bit too serious over here on the Pear Pod. I don't know, I'm trying to, we're trying to make everyone better, trying to learn a little bit about, how people have gone through their lives. But today we're going to take it a little bit easier. Just going to have a little bit of a laugh today. How's that sound?
How stupid can we get? And you said, I know the two fellas.
I actually have said for a while I'd love to get comedians on the show because it does get a little bit intense occasionally. Not even on purpose, just the guests. I guess some of the questions I ask lead us into some more intense conversation, but we're not going to do that today. Yeah. So I want to quickly start off, if possible. Can you just both briefly tell me why you first met each other and got into comedy, if that's possible?
I thought you were going to say, how do you breathe?
How do I breathe?
Right,
beautiful singer.
We're best mates 12 years, is it?
Yeah, 12
Since we're in first year. Yeah, we went to different primary schools.
What schools did you go to? Secondary school was?
Jim Castle Secondary School. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's going to be. That's definitely not Wesley. Anyway.
No, not the way.
No. Didn't go to school.
Yeah.
No, I did. I was educated. Yes.
Yeah. No, we can tell.
There we go. Yeah, if I was in one of your comedy sets and I was in the front row, would you both be like, yeah, him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, we heard you talk, we'd say him, but obviously.
This is me bringing it down as well.
Yeah. No, we're best mates, since we're in first year. And just all through school, obviously after school. And here we are now, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
He's on the Brazilian. No, we're 27 this year. And what, you going to?
Both 27?
Yeah, June and July. So,
why did it take you 5 years to? I saw you saying you when you wanted to start the podcast, it'd been spoken about for 5 years.
Yeah.
What was the delay in those 5 years?
Just bottled it.
Yeah.
Things,
Same a little bit. Yeah, same a little bit. Did something change? Did you see something to be like, all right, I think it's time to do it? Even I know Glenn was saying that you're a fan of US comedy podcasts.
Yeah.
Similar to myself.
Yeah,
did you kind of see the success that some of those were having and be like, man, we need to do this. There's nothing in Ireland, we need to do it.
That and I think both of us as well hit a stage where you hit an age, say 2 years ago, the year before we started, and we're like, fuck it, 25 now. I don't care what anyone thinks anymore.
It's not going to happen by itself.
And because there is a stage when you're trying to do it and you just care what other people think, and it's that bottle, as he said, and then you feel like I'm going a bit posh here. It's just that bottle.
Sometimes, just...
And then we just said, we were like, here, listen, what is there to lose here? Like, do you know what I mean? Just go for it.
Did you find that sometimes a lot of lads I talk to in Dublin, when the lads start content or they start their content journey, they're like, oh, people gave me a bit of grief. Yeah. You get a bit of slagging or whatever. It seems like on your stuff pretty quickly you guys had a network of support. Is that just guys that and your local area that supported you off the bat? It does seem like it's been positive pretty much throughout your stuff, and you seem to have had a good level of support from the start.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the fact that we started comedy 6 months before the podcast helped a bit. People saying that we're a bit of a gobshites already, so we kind of got over that. And then we met a lot of people in that comedy scene that are doing the same sort of thing, so they can vouch for us a bit easier, that sort of way. So I feel like that definitely helped us.
What are the odds that you both, obviously both have a laugh, both best friends, start doing a podcast together, and then both want to do comedy? Did that did you guys meeting each other and having a laugh with each other both encourage you to be like, comedy could be it for us, or did you both individually want to be comedians and then met each other?
I think this is probably more for him to say, but he's more the comedian mind than me. I was always wanted to go down the podcast route more. He wanted to do it as well, but I was more edging for that, and he was more edging for the comedian.
Yeah, I think we both really wanted to do both. Everything, we wanted to just put anything, entertainment, podcast, comedy, sketches. And when it comes to actual stand-up comedy, I definitely would say I was the one pushing that more. I've wanted to do it for years and years and years. So would he have, but I was ahead of that. And then when it comes to podcast, we haven't really done sketches now, but all that other side of it, he was like, we need to do this, we need to do this. So we just basically, it was just deadly because it's two of us together pushing each other to do both. And then within 6 months, we started comedy and started a podcast. Like,
The main thing we'd always go, we'd look at other people and go, that's fucking unreal. Like why? I'd love to do that. Do you know that
At
sort of
who
way?
specifically? Who did you watch and be like,
I don't know. We always watch the Nelk Boys.
that pear pod, man, I'm telling you, that bloke has something. Yeah, no, Nelk Boys are sick. With
The Nelk
full
Boys
sense,
was one of the. We'd always watch their videos and go, fucking hell, like they are living the life, like. And then sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves because we're not. Now, obviously, we'd love to reach that level, but we're realistic, probably not going to reach the same level as them. But why can't we do something similar in Ireland and have the crack along the way? Like the Talking Bollocks lads.
Yeah, huge.
Getting invited to this, that, and the other, and having unreal guests on, rubbing shoulders with everyone. Why can't we do that? Like
Calvin listens to the pear pod. Calvin, I'm a fucking boy.
I pointed to the
Thank you
wrong
so
camera.
much for listening, man. Seriously, like your voice punches me in the face when you start talking. Just
Is
so you
it?
know, it's great. Like
Is
big,
it?
boom, and powerful voice. Like.
Thanks very much.
what
Yeah.
about me?
Well, you're more like me. It's more like squeaky annoying. You know,
Yeah,
you're
chill
not
them
on
off,
me.
lads.
No, it's great. No, I'm in the same boat. Half the comments under my my early podcast are like, man, like, yeah, I like what you're doing, but just hate your voice. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, unreal. Can't do much about it.
No,
Unreal.
it's
That's
horrible,
good though.
isn't it?
It's 6 in the
Yeah,
head,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that works.
It's horrible. But another one then as well, just adding on to that, we have also then, like you see, like we had Joe McGurkin.
Yeah.
She plug Joe McGurkin this week on the podcast.
Don't watch it.
And we,
He's coming on here.
is he? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
We,
Joe.
We've been watching him and Darren for like we were in like first year, second year, third year, whatever, watching them like, and that was years ago. Looking at them saying we'd love to do stuff like that. So that's another.
Do you know Mark Megan? Do you know that? Have you heard of him? He's like the posh version of like Darren Conway. He used to do like funny skits and stuff like that. Has a podcast now called The Sunday Roast. He's like my version of that for you guys.
Right,
But
right.
he's doing like books now, has a podcast, like radio shows and shit. But it's
You probably
just
get that on LinkedIn, do you? We don't.
so active on LinkedIn as well. It's not even funny. My podcast clips go on LinkedIn, man. I'm a fucking animal for it. Oh, good for Sam. Good for Sam doing something in the podcast.
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
Very good. I know his father. Did you, especially in the Irish scene, this is one of my questions, like, as a profession, is there like even in the US, they talk about this, like the struggle to make it as a comedian in the US. In Ireland, is that like 10x backwards in terms of like opportunities to grow?
20 times, like,
Really?
really 100%. If you look at America, man, there's comedians over there that you've never heard of, like literally you'd never even heard of, and they're full-time comedians. And they're going around, because there's so many clubs in America. You can go, you can do a club on a weekend.
It's so big, like.
It's so big, man. Over here, it's literally like, you're lucky enough to build your own audience. You can do Figure Street. But even from that, that's more from doing stuff online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you get the odd ones that are doing it years and years and years, and they get in with the likes of the Laughter Lounge. But there's how many is there that you can say that are full time like that?
Yeah, it's hard. Some of them are like unbelievable, like
Yeah.
comedians, like class. And not that I've looked at them and been like, they're doing this years. I don't want to be doing it years, because they're learning things every time they go on stage, even if it takes them 3 or 4 years doing the Laughter Lounge before they make it big time.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't feel like they're appreciated enough in terms of like what the potential could
Yeah.
be.
Do you know it's sad for them in a way, because they're obviously like hugely passionate about comedy, have been doing it for years, but they might unfortunately get left behind when this all goes digital and shit, and everyone's doing
Yeah.
podcasts and
Definitely.
stuff.
It's a big part of it.
And they're like, what
100%.
the fuck is a podcast? Like, I want to get on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's changed so much now, and like, especially in the States, man, people just comedians blow up. Like
Oh, man.
Shane Gillis, you guys like Shane
Yeah,
Gillis?
unbelievable.
His favourite.
Matt and Shane's secret podcast. Have you listened to that?
Yeah, yeah,
It
it's
makes
class.
me like their stuff explodes, and that
Yeah.
like they really don't give a fuck on theirs. It's fucking hilarious. But like his, like they go on tour, like he'll make, even when he went off SNL, like he's hugely successful now.
Yeah.
So digital can fucking change it so much.
That's a good example, because I feel like I don't know, because we haven't gotten to the stage where we've gotten to learn about this, but it feels like the pathway in Ireland is go to RTE.
Yeah.
Like walk your way towards that
Don't
RTE.
go to RT.
No.
Jesus. That's
But if
coming
you
from
take
me.
the American structure, we always go on about Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool. Have you seen that? And the amount of lads that have come out from that, obviously Paul Smith put that on the map, but then you have like Jamie Hutchinson, Tony
He
Carroll.
normally does the slow-mo header.
The slump. We
Yeah,
met him when
yeah.
we were
Funniest
over
that
there.
man.
What a
Funniest
fucking
fucking
legend!
thing.
Like.
He is fucking sound, man.
Is
sound.
Paul Smith's the ginger lad?
Yeah,
who blew
yeah.
all his money on cars.
Yeah.
He did the fighting as well in the ring.
It's like a fucking McLaren.
But dude, when you're over there, and this is probably the difference between Dublin and Liverpool. We said it when we were there. The room was packed full of Liverpool people. Like,
Yeah.
What's the laughter lounge in terms of like, or Irish comedy? Like, is a sellout uncommon for it to be like the room absolutely jammed?
I don't know much about it. I've only been to it once, like, so I don't really
No, but
know.
even like comedy shows in Ireland in general, like, is it typical to go into a room even like and it be packed out, or is it more likely
on,
like?
on the weekend, yeah.
On the weekend, yeah.
Of tourists,
But even at that,
mainly. Like,
Oh my god, these guys are hilarious.
yeah. Even at that, there's not a lot of clubs. Like, there's not a lot that would be like packed out like that. I can probably think of 3 or 4 on the weekend.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
we always say this. It's crazy because when you think of Ireland, like Ireland's known for drinking and being funny. Like
That's
everyone,
the crack,
you know what I
like.
mean? And there's and wherever you're from, I don't know about that. But oh, anyway, listen. But I love
We
this
laugh in Black Rock, lads. Do you know what I mean? We laugh.
But there's everyone, like, even, you know, the whole of Ireland's up for a laugh all the time. So the comedy scene should be a lot bigger.
yeah,
Like,
it should be huge. It should be. I feel like, I don't know, it's always been known that Ireland is known for that fighting, like always the boxers, the real tough people. Yeah. Even though they're known for
the crack.
the crack, there's not really many like worldwide. Obviously, Tommy Tiernan is huge worldwide, but apart from
But
him,
there isn't. You couldn't give me 5.
Yeah,
couldn't give me 5. Like in the States, they'd go, "Oh my god, yeah, Tommy Tiernan."
Exactly,
That's-
yeah.
Like I was about to say Darryl O'Brien, but like he's been big-ish for us, but he's not huge for the States. So like it's clearly as hard to take that next step into being a fucking worldwide star. Like,
Yeah.
worldwide star. I want to be a star.
I want to be a star, daddy.
That's a god.
You're too young.
You need 2 episodes back from this. I had my dad on.
Oh,
I seen that,
You need to
yeah.
watch that, man. That's if you want to know how this happened, like
That's actually a really good idea. Yeah,
it was funny. I wouldn't. Yeah, it made Christmas a little awkward a few times. Like talking about divorce and all that kind of thing. You know, I hated that side of the family, and then I go to Christmas like, "Hi, you guys. I listened to your radio program, Sam,
On LinkedIn
with your dad.
It was wonderful.
Loved the LinkedIn post, of course."
My nanny calls it the broadcast.
No, he's like, "I want to come back on and do another one." Like, I was
Class.
like,
No.
you're all
Sorry,
good."
pal.
In terms of your pod, like I was talking to Glenn a little bit about this beforehand. In terms of guests, like, do you want to find the balance between you two being able to do episodes together and then incorporate guests where like it fits in with you guys, or are you open to just anyone right now?
No, I think we both would be agree with that. The goal would be to have really interesting guests, really known guests each week, and have a laugh with them. And like, but the thing is, we always want to say we're not an interview. There's obviously going to be an interview question.
Little jobs, like
Well,
we're not one of those shit interview programs.
No, this is the jab. But there's a space for that. Like, do you know what I mean? There is space. There's a load of people that do interviews, but we just always wanted to say we're not interviewers. We're 2 lads that want to have a laugh. This is not.
We don't wear headphones when we do interviews. We don't like.
We're not like this cunt.
No, like there's, as I keep saying, there's room
We don't
for
take
that.
breaks.
What I've always said
When's
is
the interval?
interviews are shit.
No, but you know
No, I
the way
get you, bro. I do get you, 100%.
you'd have a lot of people on here, and it's fully focused on them, as you said. Like,
Yeah.
you want to ask them everything, whereas we want to say, not even. This sounds horrible. Like, not that you want to be a star, like, do you know what I mean? But you want to be.
You want to be a
with them.
focus of the show.
That's- yeah.
And that's true about what this is. Like, I'm 0% of the pull for the show. It's 90% of the guest, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which is like, in the thumbnails, it's the guest. I'm not really a forefront of it at all, apart from like leading the questions.
Yeah.
And I don't really want it. I didn't really plan on that being the case. I just happened to have some very interesting people who were
Yeah.
like,
It's hard. You do fall into that.
and like, I don't want to be, I don't want to get those comments from someone being like, oh, he thinks he's the fucking man. Like, you're not the man. Make it about the guest.
Yeah.
And then, but then I'm like, it's my fucking
I'm the man.
show.
I'm the man.
The
Like
only
that.
place I am the man is here. Dad, I am the man. You are the man, son. You're the man.
But it is hard. You do fall into that, especially when it's the first time meeting someone, because you can't just go and rattle. We learned that kind of. I wouldn't say the hard way. Like, we didn't have a guest where it went wrong, but we wanted to go in like that in every episode where we just roll off and just have a laugh and bounce back and forth. But there has to be an element of learning about that person as well before you can just start talking about current affairs.
I think you guys could have some fucking hilarious episodes with like not even comedy focused lads, just getting in like a fucking chef and shit like that, and
Yeah,
having them
yeah,
in just
yeah.
chat with doing stuff like. I think there's so many avenues for you to go down. I think like the extras show you're doing as well is like great. I think you'll be like hopefully now I use like, oh, we're gonna have to graft at this now. We'll see what happens in the next kind of 5 years, like head down kind of
That's
buzz.
the plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
it's-
go
Sounds
balls to the
depressing,
wall.
but like that's the game.
It's depressing when you look at your bank account and you're like, fucking, you're in the red. Like, but
This is costing me money. Awesome.
yeah, but that's
Awesome.
the thing. Like, you have to put money in it to get stuff back from it. You know what I mean? And we're not stupid. Like, so we have a plan of how to like, because you're in like even where we are now. If you ask us, we're well ahead of where we should be. We've had guests on where
Definitely, yeah.
You've fucking flown.
Like-
Like to start off, like
we're not
I-
even 20 episodes in. Like,
Yeah, like I did 40 solo, 20 view podcast. They're
Really?
still on my chat. Go back and look at them.
That's
and
the
they're funny.
graft. But you obviously
That's-
learn from that as well.
It just
like-
it made me a better podcaster, but like I watch some of those back and be like, well, I feel bad for that. I feel bad for the 17 people that fucking listen to that. Like, but no, like I think people want to fucking laugh, man, as well. I think you're both very easy to get behind.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
that's-
Two lads, you just want to make people laugh. Like that's a fucking great positive thing.
That's yeah.
Oh, shit, thanks, man.
That's the aim behind it.
yeah.
Do you have in terms of like your typical like lifestyle as a comedian? Do you just like work late typically if you guys have shows and stuff like that? Is it
Yeah.
late nights for that?
Oh,
do.
big time, especially for him. He lives down the country. He lives an hour outside Dublin. So,
Enfield.
Enfield. No.
how far away is that
it's
from
like-
Blackrock?
Is that on the Green Line?
It's like on the border of Meath and Kildare. Like,
That's where the big booming voice comes from. Yeah.
no, I'm from Drimnagh, but I've lived out there the last year, so bad timing because obviously starting down comedy, if the drive into town every time. I work from home most of the time, so that's handy.
What are you doing? I was like, do you want to get into what you're doing?
No,
flake
keep-
out.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Just in case.
Kneecap over here.
It's not exactly legal.
I'll tell you off the
flake out,
podcast.
flake
but-
out. You're all good. You're all good. In terms of, you were talking about going over to Liverpool there for the Hot Water Club. Do you guys, is there like, if you message them, is there a line of communication you could be like, lads, I'd love to come and like watch one of the shows? Is the, I guess, the comedy scene, are they very supportive of people up and coming, or is it hard to get are you nudging your way in, you know?
Yeah,
I will. From we made a few mates over there, and we were there, like actual Liverpool lads, like, and like he made friends as well. Like he was.
As well, I made friends.
I was thinking in my head there. He'll say, you bastard. I made friends with them. But we did. We met lads, and he's pretty good at that. Like he's pretty good at. He's probably more.
Networker, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably a better networker. If you come over to me or whatever, I talk all day, but he's good at approaching people. So we were over there and we're like, hey, listen, we're here, learn a lot of comedy, watch comedy, make friends. And he took that as a mission, like, and he was like, I'm making friends with everyone here. And he did, and he approached everyone, and they were all so sound. They were all, like, there's people there that you could see, and I know social media is not everything, but you'd see lads there, we're talking to with 100,000 followers, and they'd be hanging out having a pint with another comedian there with 2,000 followers. Whereas here, it's not, if you're on the level up there, you're not really seeing on the level with someone down there.
And it's not even a bad thing, but it's just they don't mingle like.
No.
I feel like, but that hot water, that's why it's so good because they give the opportunity to the small. So we went on like a Thursday, and they run an open mic on Sundays or Mondays.
Sundays, I think. Oh, Mondays or Sundays?
Mondays. So they run an open mic on a Monday. So you throw your name in a hat and they pull out 10 random
Like a
names.
Kill Tony job.
Yeah. But they wouldn't get as many as Kill Tony. They'd only get like 30 people. So our plan was to go comedy every night because they have comedy every night of the week there. And it's
It's a full fucking industry like
Oh,
that. Like,
it's-
Oh, yeah,
that's
man.
class.
that we rave about it, and I feel like a gobshite keep talking about it, but it's unbelievable. Like there's nothing like that over here. They have a huge warehouse with a big food court and then a big theatre, and they have a show at 5 o'clock and then a show at 9 o'clock.
And they do, and would some of the lads that are working there, are they full time working out of that club, or are they like a residency and shit like that there? Or is it, are they
I don't know
like
how
each
it
week are
works.
they booking people in? Like,
I
it's
think they
mad.
just get booked in whenever. Like,
That's class.
I think it's a mix about, like, I think a lot of the lads there you'd see every time, but then you'd also see, like, an English comedian, like, I'm trying to think of a fucking English comedian. I keep thinking of the bigger ones, but the ones that aren't selling out arenas, if they were doing tours around England, that would be the venue they'd go to.
Like your man Kyle Porter, who does the slow mo, he's there. We met him there, talking to us afterwards, no problem, and then mingling with everyone else, like the lower comedians and stuff like that, no problem. Like there was no.
fucking sick.
Not that there is an ego in Ireland, but like I just feel like it is very separated. It's a hard path.
How many young lads are you seeing like on an open mic? How many lads like around your age are you seeing? Or would you guys be typically like a little bit younger than the lads trying out for it?
No. There's a lot of lads coming out of college. There's a lot of lads from college that would do it. Yeah. There's a few spots, and like if you think like the Cheeky Monkey, giving everyone shout outs and all that. But there's a spot.
Sponsor me, you cunts.
There's a spot in town where they do open mics on Mondays, and they get like 30. I haven't been to it. I think we only went to it like 3 times. You'd be there for hours queuing up like for the 5-minute spot, but. they could get 30 people, and there's a lot of college students, like 20-year-olds, 21, 22.
And did you? I know you said you were more like focused on stand up when you first started the art of stand up. Did you do it like the first couple of times and be like, fuck man? Like, was there a little bit of like a coming to Jesus moment where you were like, fuck it, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted. It was it, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
man.
unreal.
Absolutely.
Because for me, like that, it's such a terrifying thing. I want to be a TV presenter for ages. That was what I wanted to do. I like being in front of people, but the stand up thing, and I love watching stand up comedians when they're so talented and they're like in the moment and they just have people in the palm of their hands. Like I appreciate the art form.
Yeah.
But I think that makes me even more realize like how difficult it is to do that.
Yeah.
So it's great that when you first did it, you were like, fuck man, this is, even if I'm not great at it now, this is my passion, you know?
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. Man.
When
Not
it
great at
goes
it now.
well.
Just want to put that out there.
No.
Not great at it now. Like,
No,
always
man, it's
like,
not about being good at it. I like for the biggest thing on this podcast is having people on that have a passion and are like pursuing that passion,
Yeah.
whatever level you're at. Like we're not doing shit here, but it's just as soon as you find what your passion is and you can kind of pursue that, like
Yeah.
that's the goal. Do you know what I mean? So that's sick,
absolutely.
and now you can just grow towards it and you love doing it. Like
yeah.
quality.
It's couldn't ask for anything better. Like people say, like it takes 10 years to be a good comic. Like Joe Rogan and stuff. You've heard him say that before. Like it takes
I
10.
would say Joe Rogan's a good comedian as a class.
Just in case he listens to this, I'm not saying that.
Imagine. Tell him, pull it up, Jamie.
Yeah,
I was
there's no
gonna say,
better feeling like when it goes well.
Oh,
It's fucking
best feeling in
unreal.
the
Like.
world.
do you have a like? I just incredibly specific, and people who don't follow comedy might be a little bit like fuck's sake. But is there like comedians for both of you that you're like, that's the kind of style that I really enjoy, or that kind of humor is the one that I enjoy?
Yeah.
It can be US or like I think very niche. You know Brian Callen? He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a few times. He does the Fighter and the Kid podcast with Brendan Shaw.
Brian Callahan. Yeah. I thought you said Callahan.
I don't know. Brian Callahan? No.
I love him.
I think his comedy, like he did one called like Man something. I can't remember what it's called, but I think his comedy's fucking hilarious. When he's in the his like physical comedy is gas.
Yeah.
But yeah, is the lads that you guys watching, you're like, he's fucking elite at what he does.
I'll let you go first.
I always say Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
I know
so
it's
funny, so funny.
And he's so in now at the minute, so it's easy to say that, but he's just, it's now, I don't know, like, I do like the real erratic sort of, like, how do you, expressive type of comedy as well, but I feel like...
Almost eccentric, like.
I do
He's
like
like
that.
talking to your mate.
But he just says things and it's just funny, like, exactly.
Just stands there like this and just so good.
Rattles things out and just laughs at his own jokes and it
And
goes off.
his skits, have you watched the skits they do?
Fucking
Like
hilarious,
the Uncle Daycare and stuff like that. They do. Have you watched that? You need to watch that. They do
I
like a
think I've seen it
daycare
already.
for uncles, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so fucking funny.
He's fucking
And then
brilliant.
Tires, have you seen that?
Tires is class,
On
I only
Netflix.
started it, I didn't finish it
Very
though.
funny.
Yeah.
It's like it's so specific. Like it's like Shane's humor though. Like,
Yeah.
like it's
Fucking
like his
gas.
podcast. So I'd say loads of people are like, this is fucking shit.
When he
But
does the Donald Trump and Kill Tony is the funniest thing ever.
unbelievable.
Fucking
Oh yeah, him and when they did the Joe Biden collab.
Adam Ray.
Fucking
Yeah,
Adam Ray
he's
doing
very
the
good
boy.
as well. Like, what about yourself?
What was the question again? Sorry.
Shane Gillis, would you fuck him?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh man, I always loads. I'd listen to like loads, but I love Brian Callen. He's another one.
very funny.
Yeah, but I'd be really into like Bear Kreischer.
Yeah,
You know, him.
Tom Segura is class. as
Segura.
well, really.
His latest
Yeah.
one, Sledgehammer, I think it was
Sledgehammer,
called.
yeah.
When Tom talks about his kids. it's
Oh
like the
my
Is that the
funniest
one
shit.
when he's in the centre?
Yeah, walking around the middle of it.
Unbelievable.
Have you seen?
kids-
He's a real him.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
that's
he's
so fucking
fucking-
funny. Like.
Probably the most I've ever laughed loud was seeing him in the Tree Arena. You didn't go. That's not what you were.
no,
you
I
were
was
Bert.
away, I was away.
He tells us a joke. I won't say it because it's not appropriate for YouTube.
No, tell me not cut it off.
He
Tell me not
tells a
cut it
joke.
off.
All right, he tells a joke about he was in the shower with his dad.
Oh,
with his
it's funny, I know this
with his son. You know this one? Does he say it in the special
I don't
Netflix?
think so. I thought you were talking about the giving birth to water out of the jacks. You hearing that
Oh,
one?
so,
yeah.
yeah.
No, this one's fucking
This one's worse. It's like I can't fully remember it now. And I'm on the spot, but it's something like he's in the shower and he's like, "Daddy, you." You have a big willy, right? He's like, you can't do son. You can't do son. And basically he says he pulls his son off. That won't be in this episode, but man, I swear to God, when I'm at the butcher, I was crying.
Anyway,
But he obviously has a big build up to it, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Cut that,
Anyway,
yeah?
his dad puts his cock in his mouth.
So you've heard it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's my
Wesley,
joke,
we
man.
do that all the time.
Wait,
Wesley.
I'll tell you actually. Hold on, how much time do we have? For the second half. Yeah, 5 minutes. Fuck it. All right, I'll tell you the pear story very quickly because
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
just
sure.
like
Yeah,
this. So we're in Wesley as we are. I'm getting changed for PE, physical education, as you do. And I was real thin when I was younger, and then I hit a bit of a growth spurt more weight wise, and I put all my weight on my hips, and my ass, all of my weight. Like it's remarkable. And so thin. Yeah, no, it's better now.
It's better now.
I was so thin, like real bony shoulders, but loads of fucking big fat hips on me. And anyway, with the top off, feeling good about myself. And one of the lads, Hugh, in my school, fucking Hugh, he was like, "Wow, you're almost shaped like a pear." And I've never seen a nickname stick like that, pear. So like my pear pod. My mum buys me these little pear ornaments when she finds them. Look, there's more.
Because you have a fucking big hips.
Does your man know the story behind it as well?
Yeah, man, it's straight up fucking giving me body dysmorphia, like. But they, no, it's stuck in like my company's called Pear Creative, Pear Pod. I have a pear tattoo on my ass.
Do you?
Yeah.
Show us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Is he gonna show us?
I just want to see the hips, to be honest with you. Oh, shit.
Oh, God. Yeah, I actually... I don't know why I looked at his crack first before. It's like
Oh my God, you just spat me there.
Sorry, you're coughing.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, there you go. That was my first tattoo as well. My friend drew that in... we were in fucking Krakow or Hungary or something. He drew it out on a piece of paper and gave it to a tattoo artist.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes, I can do.
I can do. Fucking hell.
Yes, horrific tattoo, but yes, we can do.
Well, at least you own it.
Yeah, well, there's not much choice. Like, the other option is what? Cry and leave school.
What age were you here?
13, very
Oh, you
impressionable.
were young.
Well, I'm not fucking 26.
No, I thought you were like 15, 16.
No, 13, yeah, first year school.
Fuck, man.
Stuck so hard, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the story.
That is a good story. Have you told that before?
Yeah, I've cried through it a few times. My therapist, no, I've told it on here before, definitely. One of the solo podcasts, I was like, what am I going to talk about, man? We moved to Rialto, and first I walked to the centre there in the village, and it was like 7 p.m. Rialto Village, it is called Rialto Village.
After seeing your arse, I doubt it.
I'll just cut that out there.
Is this on?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, right.
No, I went in there and walked around with my missus, and we walked around. I was like, oh yeah, cool. You know, betting shop, oh great, you know, and unreal chipper, going real. And then just get around to centre, and there's just like 12 boys just blazing like fucking huge blunts.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, sick. We're walking in, and Myrna's like, oh, my missus is like, oh, okay. We walk in. Lads don't even move. Just at the entrance, just like blazing into people, like hotboxing for people as they come in.
Nice,
and I was like, yeah, I'm home. Like, they're my best mates.
Just while we're on it, do you know the Chinese there?
Yeah.
Do you like that Chinese?
Haven't had it.
Royal Malaysian, I love it.
This is
it
the
nice?
debate we've
Different.
had.
It's a different curry sauce, though.
It's a horrible curry sauce.
Okay. I go to I go to Amber Grill across the way. It's a chipper, but it's run by Asian people. It's like an interesting twist, but they do.
That's 2024 for
It
you.
is indeed. I've always had Italians in my chippers, but they do a fucking good job, man. They're quick.
They're
all
quick.
over.
I have an Indian chipper, and they've
What?
Yeah, it's an Indian chipper.
Sorry. That's
But
yeah,
it's like-
wild.
Yeah, it is an Indian chipper.
Now, in fairness, they're 8-in-1. They do everything.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
only. It's literally.
But it's advertised properly as a chipper. I
Yeah, no,
think.
it's really nice, Phil.
They've done
Yeah,
something
rip
to
it.
their chips. I'm trying to get into it. I don't know whether they're leaving their chips out for too long or they're using all potatoes, but there's something wrong with the chips.
And the one in the local one I like my chipper drowned in vinegar, like unhealthy amounts.
yeah,
So
yeah.
double bag it
Yeah.
because the bottom bag is just disintegrated with
Oh,
vinegar.
yes.
And in my old chipper in Ballantyre when I was living there, they were happy enough to they give you the bottle and you can just do what you like.
yourself.
Oh, nice.
I earned that after 8 years. Then you go to the lads in the local one there. There's none of that. It's all like big screen in front because the lads are obviously just.
Oh, yeah.
Use that there. That's my found away. They're like, use that there, them chips. And but they don't let you hold it. They just barely put it on, like a little drip of it, little double shake of salt, and you're going, like, what am I doing with
Even
that?
more of that, like.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
bit
do-
of it. I don't mind just salt, but
Do you know what?
saying that the chips in this place, the Indian chipper, they're bone dry. That's what I'm saying. There's
say
something
that
wrong
to
with
me.
them. There's
Don't
something
say
wrong
that.
with them.
But you know what, lad? Sometimes a nice crispy chip isn't bad. I like a little
That's what I
crispy
mean.
chip.
That's why you just salt sometimes is good. But
It depends on the quality of the chip. Like, it's
Yeah.
so
the
important.
bag, chipper chips, the bag needs to be closed and they need to be like steamed a little bit within it. These chips are just left open. It's like a spice bag. It's weird.
What are we,
Bad.
fucking animals?
Bad. It's bad. The
No,
Indians
that's
don't know
not,
what they're
that's
doing
not
with
it,
the
boys. In terms of your like family and stuff like that, in terms of comedy,
They
when
hate
you
us.
when you were first saying like I want to get into comedy with that, like yeah, that makes sense. Or are they like, no, maybe let's go a little bit more solid. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I think obviously everyone, you need to have a solid plan, like with a job. And we're still working. It's not like we've dropped everything for that. So we haven't really reached that stage yet. But we've always had a laugh. Like, that's one of the reasons. I don't know. We didn't really touch on that there, but like that's one of the reasons why we started doing all this, because we'd always have a laugh and people would go like, "Use that fun, funny to be around." Like, so we said, why aren't we doing this for more people to see it? Like, and we'd want to do a podcast where we have that going. Like,
well, you know, there's every group has that group of lads that they say, and like every group has been like, "Oh, we'd make a class podcast."
Yeah,
they're saying it, and then you actually get in there and you sit down with them. They're all talking about like, "Oh, you know, I make fucking what about this board?" You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. And then you get lads on. There's like magic that happens. So like I've heard 10 different groups, especially when I started a podcast, being like, I always thought I could do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great, do one. Yeah. And then, but like seeing you lads doing it, and then clearly it started to work. So like it just gave you some credit. It's not. I don't think it's a unique thing. I think everyone says they can do something until they start doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Back at you, like, no, but yeah.
That always plays in my mind, because everyone, as you said, everyone's group of mates has a good laugh. Like, so what makes us that different? Like, I don't think there is really much different. We just done it. Like, I mean, obviously, hopefully get better.
I think you. I was saying this to, again, Connor was in the jacks taking stuff out of my wallet. Glenn, we were talking about like you both have a great ability to bring people into like how you both interact with each other. So whatever guests you have, I think you're going to do a great job of not doing what I do and just like interviewing the same kind of questions, but bringing them into what you guys do well and having a laugh with them. I think that's going to be your special point, where they be like, imagine if they went on like you having us on. How funny would that be?
I
think that's it.
Shit, man, that's
similar
class.
like Flagrant. When someone goes on Flagrant and you be like, I want to see. I don't like. It might be someone I've seen interviewed 50 times, but then I want to see him on Flagrant with the
How he
guys,
interacts,
how they do
like-
with those guys.
Yeah,
and that's the magic to it. You know what I mean?
That's unreal.
Because there'll be like it'll start getting bigger where if people do like press rounds and there's people who want to go on and get some exposure, they're going to be like, oh, you can go and you having us on. A bit of a different style of podcast, go and have a laugh. It's not, you know, sitting down being like, how did you come up with this project? Do you know what I mean?
You're saying literally what we want. That's exactly everything.
Show me the
we want.
managers.
Yeah, please. But but it's lovely. I'm getting drenched here with this fella coming on.
I don't know why I have to do something
Go
wrong.
that way.
There's something wrong.
But that's it. See the way you keep saying
There's
is.
something wrong with me.
I just want. I don't want you. I'm not saying like we don't want the interviewers as well. I just that keeps going in my head.
No,
but what you're doing is brilliant for what you're doing.
Thank you, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're really good at what. You're really good at the type of podcast you're doing.
But what you're doing, why did you say it like that?
Whatever it is you're doing.
Because a podcast, I
It's
just
shit.
no, because this is what I just keep on what we say. When people think I can do a podcast is a million different things. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people can say we can do, like, you do a podcast, we do a podcast. These podcasts are yours. If you want to listen to someone like, nobody knows us, for example. We wouldn't ask each other these type of things. This is brilliant when to get to know someone like that. As you said, if you have, if you had to get your dream guest, who would that be?
Brian O'Driscoll. No, not at all. Not at all.
My stepdad is like, he loves Brian O'Driscoll.
Your stepdad's what? No, I have, generally I'd say someone like, I'd love to have Brian Callan on. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think
That's like he's saying Callan,
I like
isn't
it.
it?
I don't. My head's wrecked now because I
He
should have
does
looked
a
at the.
podcast with Brendan Schaub.
I know, but I should have.
You're watching him.
I
Get
know
back.
him
It's
if I
so
see
funny.
him.
Do you know who he always reminds me of?
Actually, hold on. I'll show you his fucking face.
Yeah, and
this.
just,
Yeah.
do you know what I always say
this.
into this camera as well? Our good friend Sean Raiders,
Yeah.
Sean Fitzgerald. He's the one I
Why
always
did you
say.
look at me out there?
What? I didn't look at him.
You did. You looked down.
But he's the one I always say. Sean reminds me of him.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like him and he acts like him a bit. He's fucking hilarious.
Sean looks like Robin van Persie though.
Remember you were saying that, and I was saying he looks like Brian, and we were having that debate.
Really?
You do know
This
him.
cunt. No? All right, well then maybe I don't know.
I don't know him.
You should watch him. He's fucking funny. He hangs with Bobby
He's
Lee and all those lads.
hilarious.
Like he's in that little network of people.
That's fucking.
That's
class.
by the way, that's
another one.
comedy gold. That,
Bobby Lee.
Yeah, Bobby
That's-
Lee, Andrew Santino, Brendan Schaub, fucking him. They're all like Theo Fawn.
Yeah.
There's about 10 of them that you do always see.
Theo Vaughn's podcast is fucking exploding, man.
Man, he got Donald Trump on it. Yeah. Like that is imagine.
And said mad shit to him. We didn't just water down.
Man, that's like a weasel jumping up on your back and up into your butt. I don't know. Like, what? I'll tell you, Mr. President, I love sniffing cocaine. And he's like, oh, yes.
What is the feeling like?
Yes, and I never drink. I want to drink. Beautiful breasts. But no, the comedian, like the surge is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's mad. It's unreal. Do you have I'm guessing now, would you like to ideally do this from Dublin or from Ireland, like do all your work from Ireland, or like do you see a potential of being like, this grows a little bit more, imagine what we could do if we went to New York or somewhere else with a bigger comedy scene, or even over to the UK? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely, man, absolutely. I think a big thing is, a lot of people, as we're saying about Irish comics and Irish podcasts and just Irish people in general, Ireland's a small fucking country, like we would love to be able to, even let's say England, imagine we could do this like comedy and podcast and go over to England. That's a whole different market. Like you're multiplying your market by 5, 10.
If you had someone that could set up their own podcast for you and like you could do it in the Airbnb you're staying at.
Yeah.
I feel like it's bound to happen though, because even though it's so small, even though Ireland is so small, you'd always get like music artists come out, like you see like Belters Only. They're
the boys,
huge.
trying to get them on here.
Yeah,
huge. And there's loads of other Irish DJs that are huge and popping off as well. Jazzy as well, like she grew up in Crumlin. Like it's doable, it definitely is. It just hasn't happened for comedy just yet.
No.
But definitely think, but what he said, like Ireland is known for having the crack and known for being funny. So once one person pushes that through, everyone is through, then we feel
it's only waiting to it's waiting to happen.
Do you think there needs to be a Joe Rogan style, like we need to build a few like other comedy spots, or more specific comedy spots, or do you think there's enough here, we just need to popularize comedy a little bit more?
Probably popularize it.
Yeah, well, we're big on this. We say this from the start. Like when we start our podcast, like we're pumping money into it, as you know yourself when you're doing stuff like that. And like we have a lot of mates in comedy and all, and we do have the money, but you're pumping money into it, and you're like trying to build yourself up. We keep saying this. Nobody wants to listen to us. Like, do you know what I mean?
I disagree.
We're thanks, man. Thank
I like
you.
to listen to you guys.
Yeah, but
Fucking come near me.
but nobody knows us, like, do you know what I mean? So we're getting on now. We're after getting, like, obviously, a few more eyes on us now. Nothing major, but it's going to keep growing. And we keep saying we want to bring, like, our people and all with us, and we want to build, going back to Liverpool, we would love to be able to build that. Because here, there's so many...
Double-decker bus through Liverpool, like you do.
Yeah,
We did it! That'd be huge. I'm putting that into motion, that'd be sick.
But yeah, we'd love to be able to... Yeah, there is a few clubs here ready to go as well. I don't know what it is about Ireland. Like, I think there's... I don't know, we just... Same as yourself with this, like, it's just, there's no end goals. Keep going. Whereas I think in Ireland, people are fairly happy to stop at a certain point.
People just need the idea. Like you mentioned the Laughter Lounge, and I feel like a lot of people just think the Laughter Lounge when it comes to comedy.
Yeah.
And that's just like once a year sort of thing. People are always looking for something to do, like, and like people like to spend their money. No problem going to the pub every week.
Yeah.
But then not like people will complain and there's not much to do then. There's loads of comedy clubs to do it. I do think it just takes...
Irish love a complaint, like, too fucking nothing to do, and then like, there's too many pubs.
But it is though, and we're guilty of it as well, like, do you know what I mean? But like, and it's just, I don't think it's been not promoted enough, but maybe not pushed towards that. Like no one from our area would think of going, like maybe do Laughter Lounge once a year here and there, but you wouldn't think of going, like, because there are some really good clubs like Stitches and Crackdown and...
Stitches, good name.
It's
Stitches, it's class.
You get a really good show there, like.
Did the lads in Hot Water over in Liverpool, did they say that like the growth in popularity came alongside the growth of like podcasts and them doing content around it, or was it just they had a bigger scene over in Liverpool?
I think theirs came from social media, rather,
like the pump off that.
Paul Smith, Facebook, because this is going back 10 years. Paul Smith, you know Paul Smith, is there? You've seen him on Facebook, probably.
I see him. I saw him fight Jay Quickenden.
You were at the fight?
No, I just watched it.
Right.
Jay Quickenden looks good.
Yeah.
Like, handsome guy.
I don't know what that is.
He was on Geordie Shore, was he?
No, he was on X Factor, I think.
Oh shit!
He was. Yeah, he was. No, he was. No, I know for certain.
But he was in good nick, like. And Paul Smith was a comedian.
He looked in better shape than he was, but I think that was sick for him to do anyway.
Sorry, absolutely, yeah. That's another thing as well, which is great. Like, he obviously wanted to do that. Do you know what I mean? And he's not even in the comedy lane, completely different. That's why I love when people do that, step in and whatever they want to do, they do.
Did you watch the little documentary they made about that? They did a little. You should watch it. It's him basically going like comedy till fucking 2 a.m. up at 5 a.m. to go do jiu-jitsu and wrestling.
Mad.
Then he spars and then he's like off
Yeah.
again, does another fucking thing. So like that bit, I think they did so well, like showing his work ethic is fucking insane.
Yeah,
And he'd
yeah.
go in, he'd be getting his head kicked in sparring like 4 o'clock, and then they get in the car and they go into like an arena. And he just goes and does an arena. And so many people would be like, why the fuck do I want to fight this bloke? I'm doing arenas. And he's like, I want to push myself a little more. It's just fucking sick.
That's
like.
one of the mad things because sorry, just to talk over you there.
No,
but
sorry.
on the open
Shut
mic,
up for a sec.
on the open mic on the Monday that we tried to get in, so we put our names into the open mic for hot water. We didn't get in, so we stayed and watched the show. The fella that was emceeing that, like presenting the show, he's Paul Smith's support act. So this fella is performing in a room now. We were talking to him afterwards, and then next week he's going
20,000, like.
Yeah.
30,000. Like.
Yeah, like,
And
it's
there you
insane.
Can, like, if we're there all the time, you can talk to him and pick
Yeah.
his brain and
Yeah.
like figure out how we get to that level. Like,
I think comedy clubs is one of the places they talk about in all the US ones. Is like, especially if you're doing the show there, the little bar at the back, like it's a very much a place you can go and approach people and have a conversation after.
yeah.
You can't go to chat to fucking, I don't know who's a fucking, even Belters only after the show. They don't hang around at the front for you to go shake hands after. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they leave a little bit of mystique. But comedians, they're like, yeah, go say hi. When we went to the one in the Laughter Lounge, like me, my dad, and my brother, and the headliner was at the back of the bar after. My dad was like, go say something. I was like, leave him alone. Don't go near him. And then obviously they went up and had chat to him. He was like, no, I love when people come up to me. But I'd always be like, I'd be like, leave the cunt alone. Like, he's just trying to have a pint. Like,
I think that's a very young thing as well, isn't it? I think if you're under 40, you're
Leave
like,
him alone.
oh, I'm not going up. Because my mum be the same. We did a show.
I have to say hi.
Yeah. Remember me mum with Al Porter?
Yeah,
Al Porter
yeah.
was in the back of the room. We were at a show, and it was in the crack then. So you're walking by him to get out, like, and he was on his phone or whatever. Like, just did his gig, and my man was like, "Oh, I have to go over and say hello." She's dying to say hello to him, like,
rubbing his leg and all.
but you'd love that. Like, we now here, obviously, I keep wanting to say this. We're so down there, like, when we've done gigs, and usually the rooms are where people live, where you hang out at the back, like. And people come up to you and say, "Oh, well done!" Like, that just fucking makes your day, doesn't it? Like, that's the best thing you can get. Like,
You with your hand out for like a tenner after.
oh,
like,
waiting,
You'd be standing
yeah.
around like this and all, like pretending to not be listening. Guys,
Carrying the mic.
Yeah, with the string, the wire going behind you.
Sorry, remind you, yeah.
Well, a question I like to, I've only had one other podcast with two guests. So the question I asked then that I really liked was, number one, I'll go to Glenn first.
What, sorry?
What did you say?
he was a better kisser. I don't know. Let's test it.
Show us the hairs again.
Leave it out this time. I want to ask, so for yourself first, for Connor, what do you think Connor brings to the podcast for you guys, whether that is like the episodes itself or promo or ideas or whatever? What do you think Connor brings that really helps you out that maybe you aren't great at, and then vice versa for yourself?
Oh, fuck. He's gonna love this. He's gonna love it. He's
By the way,
real cute.
So anyway, I just want to start off. He's never given me a compliment in my life.
Yeah,
So
this is gonna be great.
That's
this is
a
the
lie.
first time.
No, he's obviously really likeable. You can tell he just gives off real good energy. Feel like everyone gravitates towards him, especially with his stupid laugh and stuff like that. Like he
Yeah, see.
laughs at fucking everything.
There you
Like,
go.
not that
Okay,
that's a
that's,
bad
that's the
thing.
first insult. Okay, let's get a compliment in.
Can we
But
get an
it is-
insult counter here?
his
What it
little-
is-
His little fucking face.
He's really, really likeable. I think out of the two of us, he's more likeable. And I said it to you beforehand, the way we try to do our thing, we don't want to just bring people in and like lick their arse and gloat about them.
Yeah.
So we'll always try poke at them. I try to do that a little bit too much. He's better at getting them on side. So I think out of the two of us, he'll always, I think that's probably why he probably gravitate towards.
Well,
But he's really likeable.
you do need a balance to that though. Like, there's no point having two lads asking the same kind of questions or thinking about the same kind of way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
I think.
Good cop, bad cop.
I think from that side, it's because I'd have like we were lucky enough to have some big guests on so far, and at the end of the day, you're a fan of these people. Like watching John McGurk in years, so I'm not gonna go in there. He'd go in there like, right, we have Joe on now. Whereas I'm just like, I've been watching you years. Like, do you know what I mean? I have that like.
You're so cool.
Well, yeah, like I'd ask what I wanted to always ask him. Like,
nonchalant.
You're so sick.
and he's like, well, this is his business. Like,
No, that's like I always said I'd love to have I think there's a huge advantage to having a number two, like someone that you can bounce off with. It's hard to do it by yourself all the time.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to get into a stage where you hook up with someone that's your guy and then fucking you don't like each other a year down the line. Do you know what I mean? And then you've already built all this together. Then how does that work? So
we were kind of lucky enough that we're friends
That
12,
huge.
13 years, so that's not going to happen. Like, but whereas you're looking for someone now, you're making a relationship
well,
now.
none of my mates would be like, oh, sick, a podcast.
really?
No, none of my mates would be like that. None of the lads would be like, oh, I'd love to come on for an episode. Like,
Really?
No,
Do they support you though? Do they listen to you?
Yeah. They all listen and all that shit, and they like spread it around. But I don't think any of them would be like, get me on. 100%. I don't think so.
Fair.
And like that's why I'm trying to build a little bit of a network of like lads who are creators and shit and who are in the game a little bit, because I don't really get to talk about stuff like this.
That's a huge part of it. That's what one of like a big thing that we learned in comedy, like, because it helps. For years we wanted to start a podcast, but it was just us two that wanted to start it, so it's hard then when you're around a lot of comedians and you're all talking about the same stupid dreams. Say stupid dreams, but like you're all
just say dreams.
yeah, but you're all talking about the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
You don't feel as stupid then, do you know that way? So that
if I'm talking about like, I hope this reel does well.
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Like if we go in now and talk to us, like we can talk to you about podcasts. If no one's ever been on a podcast, which 90% of people we know haven't been, they're like, even as you said earlier on, anyone can do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you know the struggles behind it and all. So when we're talking about comedy to family members, they're like, one day you can be Tommy Tiernan did it. We're like, fucking hell. They
I'd say you get the Tommy Tiernan nonsense all the time.
That's all we get. Like,
Tommy's very funny.
Yeah. Have you ever done a gig with Tommy? Yeah.
I was in the O2 last week. Yeah. Granny. Yeah.
And get dressed. I'm sick of seeing you naked, but you're not go around naked. He does this when he laughs. He coughs.
I don't know what it is.
I have no grandparents. They're all dead.
Oh, really?
Same actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why aren't you? No, actually, I have one dead one, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, up.
Grandad
top.
Ben.
Up top. Do you believe in upstairs? Yeah.
Unless you're in a bungalow, yeah.
Ask him what he thinks of me now.
Yeah.
That was awkward. I don't know if that was good enough, like, but I do. He is really personal. I think
There's
I
no
don't
right
wanna
answer, by the way.
cut myself down because I think I am as well. But you probably are better at being really personal. Like after a podcast, like really cement a relationship down with the guest afterwards. Like,
You think so, yeah?
yeah.
Like, are you worried in the episodes being like, what question am I going to ask next? Or are you just like, whatever comes to my head, I'm fucking banging out?
No, I think
we've done that. We've done that at the start around now as well, but we were trying to have so much stuff ready to go. Yeah. It's the worst thing to do.
Big sheets.
Yeah. For us, it's the worst thing to do because we're so, I don't know, I don't want to say on the spot, like, but when we go in there with, like, we need to ask this.
Yeah.
Especially him, he said he struggled with it really big at the start.
Yeah.
So he would have all this in his head.
Getting started's tough.
Yeah. And then, so if he asked, say we were talking to you now and he asked you a question, and then he had his next question ready, but you went off track, he would be panicking.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. We learned that. Like that was the first time he did that was with Joe Downing, and I think we learned that pretty easily, pretty quickly. Like I went in over prepared, like I'd listened to everything he's done and watched everything and all. So I was like, right, I know the answers to all these questions.
But that's doing no good to your audience.
No.
You knowing all the answers.
Yeah,
and
exactly. And he
them
was
not
like
getting to hear it.
asking extra questions, and I was like, no, like he's answered that on another podcast. Don't go into it. So I was real reserved.
If you go real deep and like, and I know your auntie passed away in 1994. How was that party? And they go like,
yeah.
So like, how have you gone in that deep?
Trying to find the balance of that.
Yeah. I said this to him, and you probably know this from, you said you're listening to the American comics all the time. I said, because he was saying Joe did this, and this, for example, so I don't want to copy and paste that. I do understand you, but I think with us, we're different podcasters in a different podcast, so it's not going to be the exact same. So when you talk about Bobby Lee and Brian Callen and all, they all have podcasts. Yeah. I'd listen to BobbyLee on 7 different podcasts in 1 week.
Same.
Do you know what I mean?
Same.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's my...
The personality is what you're invested in, 100%.
Exactly.
And like, even with Bobby Lee, like he 100% doesn't have prepared questions. Like he comes in and sits down, he's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Just goes with it,
But that's the magic you're aiming for. It's just like, you can on it. If you just like, look, Tuesday, Thursday, we record podcast and whatever happens that day happens. And like we've these guests coming in, like that's the fucking magic of it. Like, especially when you guys get some good production like sorted and you guys have like I'm talking way down the line, but even like someone handling your guest interaction stuff, you guys have to turn up and do your thing on the day.
That would be ideal.
I'd be sick. That's not miles away, boys. I'm telling you. Yeah. You're not far away from that, especially in like your niche. Like you've pretty much just founded your own little niche of podcast in Ireland. I don't think anyone's doing it.
That's a serious compliment.
There's no other, like, tell me who else is doing it. Do you know Tony Cantwell in Dublin?
Yeah.
He'd be like one of the, he makes me fucking laugh.
Yeah,
some of his skits that he does on his, like when he's doing the filters and stuff. Ploon.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Drink, boys. Ploon. That was big in the fucking Wesley rooms. In that case. Like, that's like how we talk.
What was the word? It wasn't what he said. It was the way he said it.
I'm going to jump on the punto. Jack, mate.
They have a little good click. Do you know his podcast?
I've seen like clips of it. I haven't watched the full one.
Yeah,
They do it in like a I guess, a bigger place that does loads of podcasts.
They're three of them are very funny. Shane Daniel Bourne and Killian Sullivan. Those three are very funny.
But like again, it's for them getting or making money. Like it's obviously shows, and then like your podcast. Like they don't even have. I think they need to branch out into doing like skits and stuff like that, like you guys doing, like second bonus episodes and like expanding even more, because just the one podcast isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, I know, man. It's not even just in general. We always say it's one lane's not enough anymore. Nope. It's just really not. But here, hats off to you as well while we're on it. That's when you text us or whatever a while ago, and we were looking at your page. The first thing we said is the production's unreal.
Yeah, it's quality.
It's all we have.
No, man, I keep saying it. You're good at what you do, but the
Thank you,
production. He actually said it to me. You sent me a video, and you're like, "Look at how good this is."
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
And
That arouses me sexually, like straight up.
Sexually,
Get that arse out.
Straight up. God, I'm jacked. Yeah. But no, that was like one of the big things I could do was be like, yeah, production can be tight. Because like I know how to do that end, but it's doing that. But like some of the most successful podcasts have like 2 fucking webcam cameras. Like the quality doesn't matter. It's generally the body of the podcast. Like, and like the best clips I've had are really good, like funny or good topical ones. But then it was like fuzzy and shit. Doesn't matter. They just want to see the good clip. It doesn't matter if it's in 4K or in fucking
you do see that
720. Like if it's a good clip and it's funny, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's the way it is. So like, but yeah, I am happy with the production. Thank you, bro.
That's
Appreciate
class,
that. We're nearly there, boys.
I want to ask him what he thinks good about
Yeah,
me.
get in there. Yeah, get in. Answer that question.
I've been doing to ask. He asked you earlier on, what did your family and friends think? You never got to me. I was like, ask me.
What do your family and friends think?
No, so I'll answer this one. What he brings to the table, and that's it.
Everything.
Just clip it. It's done.
Who does your editing and shit?
So
Who does your social media?
This is what I was gonna say. So when you ask me what does he bring to the table, like obviously loads of things, but the most important thing is he's head screwed on when it comes to like
Promotion.
Promotion, clips. Fucking has to be done now. Like he's really good at like this needs to be clipped. This needs to be put up now. This needs to be captioned this way. Like he is like
Good.
that man.
If you don't have someone like that, it can be very fucking hard.
Yeah,
Like,
he's sitting at home eating gabba gib, just like literally cut everything out, doing everything. Yeah. Yeah, he's really good at that.
fucking captions.
When it comes to social media and behind, like we have the place we do it now. There's obviously a cameraman there, like, but everything else.
Fuck you. No, sorry, I'm getting exaggerating now.
But everything else, yeah, he.
Too many flat whites.
That used to be my nickname. But yeah.
Is that all? Am I not good on the podcast? Am I funny or not? No.
No, let me get there, man. Yeah. This is what he does all the time, by the way. You know when he do this in the podcast.
I'm paranoid.
Welcome to the podcast. Today we have Sam. Are you not going to say that? That's what he says to me. Like, literally, he doesn't like talking for more than 3 seconds without hearing my voice. Like, well,
that's lovely.
Yeah, and another thing.
Support, like.
I just want to hold them.
That's another.
It's cute. That's a cute.
He's talking about you.
They're holding hands under the table, by the way.
That's another thing he is as well. Like, see the way you're saying, like, his compliments to me there, I couldn't do that without him. So when we have somebody there, I'd be completely different if I was on my own.
How would you do a podcast individually? Like, I wonder how that would go. Like, would either
I
of you
couldn't
enjoy
do
it as
without
much?
him.
Yeah,
No, it wouldn't be as good. We bounce off each other.
Oh, 100%. Even like, there you went a bit. I would have been a bit mad if I worded it that way. But even just like if I'm talking to you here, like, oh Jesus, don't know what I'd say this, but like even knowing I have him there, it's just like I don't know if it's like a comfort blanket or something. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's weird, but yeah.
It's
right.
yeah.
But he had.
There's so much stuff going through me. This isn't the podcast for that. This isn't the podcast for that.
He had like, I think even coming in, sometimes when I have a single guest coming in and he's like, yeah, I'm out in the car park. And I go, all right, going to meet this guy for the first time. But like, it can be a little, especially when you're walking, it can be a little like uncomfortable at the start.
Yeah,
and you sit down and you go, so tell me about when you were most depressed.
Yeah,
I haven't fucking chatted to you before.
Yeah.
So like, I think having 2 people there, it puts the guest at ease 100%.
Yeah.
Oh really? Do you find that? Yeah.
Having 2 people there, you can have a bit more crack. It's not just the 2 of you trying to make conversation. You're basically trying to fucking figure out, is this guy a cunt or not in the first
Yeah.
Like, what are we about to work into? Because it all looks good. I think when people see the Instagram as well, I think they presume there's more people involved. Because
Yeah.
it's always, hey guys, great job on the podcast. And I'm like, it's just me.
me.
Yeah,
It's just me in my room. So I think they presume they kind of come in, they're like, where the fuck are all the production assistants and all this shit? And I go, sit down, man.
But that's how good your production is. You would think there's someone else here.
It would be helpful to have a cameraman at some point, so I don't have to be like, is that what I'm
Yeah.
I don't want to do it for pro bono.
I've lost so many episodes, man. So
Have
many.
you?
So many episodes.
Really?
I just like, and you can't say it at
Don't
the
tell
time.
us that.
You can't say it at the time. No, these are about going. But you can't say it at the time. So like, I'll go up to the cameras at the end of the episode and go, yeah, that wasn't running for 30 minutes. Okay, see you later, man. That's it. I go, it's usually my camera that doesn't work. I'm like, grand, fuck it, doesn't matter. But yeah, boys, I think we're good.
Yeah.
That's an hour.
Happy with that?
I'm very happy, boys.
Are you happy with that? Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No bother,
I was
man.
going to say,
Thanks for having us, man.
do you know what Do you know what Protect Our Parks is and Joe Rogan? Do you know what
yeah.
that website? It's just like their series, like mini series inside their podcast.
Yeah,
I'd love for this to be that.
Oh, man,
And like have the lads in, chat about your like how comedy scene is going. Whenever you have new updates coming up, anything like
We do
that.
shrooms next time as well. Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, I'll be well up for that. Like,
Few Bud Lights.
I'll be well. No,
What's it gonna be called though? Have you got a name for it?
I have to think about it.
Protect Our Hills.
Protect Our Pears, like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah. And you know, there's a pear tree outside the office. It's fucking hilarious.
Is it actually?
Yeah, I swear to God, it's a very famous one. So I'll show you outside when we go out. Might have a little pint. Do you want a pint?
Yeah.
Let's go, brother.
100%.
Do you want
Go
to?
for
Alright.
I'll go for more than one point.
Thank you for listening, guys. Appreciate it all. Love you very much.
Legend, thanks very much,
Check
Sam.
out the lads' podcast. I'll link them all down below. It's better than mine. All right. Cheers. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.